Good morning, everyone. I find that as you kind of, I guess, grow older, when you're young, it's kind of not so. One isn't so much in one's own world. Even as a child, I know that from growing up the way I did. And it has a lot to do as well with trying to protect yourself, yeah? Yes, against all kinds of influences, this and that. And it's amazing to me on how young people are very much, right? They have a great will, right? To work against their parents, even when they have really good parents, this and that, and are sucked into what? For example, drugs, right? Yeah, all kinds of other things. Uh, you know, getting involved with other people, and too early on, and have this conjugal relationship and all that stuff, and they put on all this baggage, burden on themselves. Yet, yes, oh, I'm going to live my own life, this and that, not realizing on how they're actually damaging and are counterproductive in many ways on how other people out there influence them rather than guide them. Yes? Okay. Oh, why I'm saying this. We had a bird fly into the house, and I heard it. I was upstairs, and I heard several times that thump. And then going, there's something hitting something. And the last one was, I bet that was a bird in the house, and it's hitting that upper window, which I wanted to put a curtain on, but yes, okay, all right, I'm just saying. I know that my ideas are always good and right. But. So Sissy came and she says, Daniela, there's a bird laying down there, and it looks like it got its wing hurt. And so they had just put it on the side of the steps there, and it was just, I came down and I looked at it, and I'm going, oh, it's completely dazed or something. And I didn't really see anything else wrong with it. It had its wings closed up, uh, so I went and I got a crate and something to keep it warm because it was going towards evening time. I wasn't going to take that in the house. I said, experience. This isn't the first time. And I remember with my children, when anything like this would happen to an animal out there, oh, it's got to go in a box. Oh, it's got to be taken care of. This and that. Da, 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 da. Okay, that's wildlife. Okay. And birds are to me also wildlife. You don't keep them in a cage or this or that. Okay, yeah, help it, nurse it back if necessary. I get that. But I found give them the space that they need in case they recuperate according to, it looks like it's just dazed, okay? It doesn't look injured to me. And if it is, I will find out if it's not going anywhere. And so I got this crate, which then our cats can get to it. And especially the one. And I got some cloth, and I took it and I wrapped it up in the cloth so it would stay warm, okay? And then in the crate where the handles were, it was a small bird. I could, okay, if it regains its consciousness, kind of, right, and recuperates, gets out of the shock of bang, hitting its head or its whole body against that window up there, it will have a way to get out, right? And it will. And sure enough, the next day it was gone. So that's all it needed. It didn't need, okay, just saying. Right? Well, how does one gain experience like that as a human being to know what kind of help is needed? What kind of protection is needed? Right? Yes? Well, experience. A little common sense. Right? Yes? And to not interfere. Okay. With the possible natural way on how that bird will recuperate without having being. I could have put it in a cage or a box, and then it would have gained its. Okay, I'm all good now. I recuperated, and it would have not had anywhere to go. and it would have been freaked out again, not this way. And as I said, it figured out how to get through the handles that weren't big enough for anything else to get into, and it went on its way. Yes, I don't know if the bird has learned its lesson to not fly into our house. Okay. Then there was another one. So that's with the principles of creation, right? A little experience I just had recently. Oh, does it turn out every time like this? No, sometimes you get up in the morning and it didn't make it. But at least it wasn't in an environment where the life expired respectfully, kind of thing, right? Yes? Okay. So there was another one. So my brother-in-law, my husband, we're here on the porch, and I said, okay, so how, where are you going to put the bed in that little tiny house that we're fixing up for you? And I said, well, okay, let's see. I said, I know that there's these 2 windows, and they were going to tell me where they were going to put an air conditioner, which, again, but we have one here that all it needs is a hole in the floor that I can put the hose in. I said, okay, I'm just saying. So I'm going, oh, okay. So, well, all right, if you're putting it over on this side, where I kind of had imagined the bed to be by the window, so I could look out the other window, which kind of has a greater view than the other one on the other side, which just kind of looks at a fence. I said, well, that's going to interfere with my little nightstand, this and that. But I said, I could also put the bed like this on the other side. So how much room is there between the bed and the door then? And is there a possibility to build just a little shelf? And it was like, there's a, well, no, what we should do is blah, blah, blah. But I'm going, okay. They ask me, right? And I'm telling them what on how I kind of see myself in there, on where things are placed. And they're going, well, we could put the air conditioner, but and I kept listening to them and going, okay. Well, the one thing, there was a overhead space there, like a little loft thing, where you could put things up, but they took it all down so they could do the ceiling, which, by the way, looks great. I mean, as I said, I saw that, I'm going, whoa, they're really, this is not just going to be a shed fixed up. This is going to be really nicely done. Which, again, God takes care of me. He knows. Yes, and he knows. My heavenly parent knows Daniela likes her space. When she's done with whatever, she likes her space to go and do what? Oh, of course. Have to give and take with whom? Exclusively. Kind of? Okay. I'm just saying. It's very, very exhausting. Spiritual work is very exhausting. And one needs just the time to just regroup, center. Yes, it's important. And I'm listening to the guys. I'm going, okay, I thought I was asked as the guiding wheel here, where this and that, but now I feel like the third wheel. And I just looked at the whole situation. Finally, I said, hey, guys, why don't you just do whatever you want? I'm not sure why you actually ask me, but go ahead, do however you think it's going to work out best. The one thing, I would like to look out the window. That kind of gives me the greater view when it comes to all of it. Maybe you can keep that in mind. Right? Anywho, so it was just a really interesting give and take on, I was being asked and I kind of gave, and then it was just like, yeah, but that's not going to, and this is not, oh, okay, well, all right, then you guys just go ahead and you build me the best possible space, right? Yes? Done. That's interesting, though. I just said, okay. All right, let's get going here. So there again, too. Sometimes you have to just let people go ahead and go on with their own ideas and not be kind of offended by, but then why did you even ask if you're already going to say whatever I try to figure out is not going to work, right? Yes? Mm. Mm. It's one of those things where how much do I need to actually um, does it require any kind of stubbornness on myself, right, when it comes to all this? Or should I just, hey, it looks like you guys are doing a good job, so not going to, just go ahead and you diffuse any kind of uh, discontent over me not quite seeing the space as they do, for example, right? Because they're working on it. They're the ones who are doing it. Yes, yes. And I'm happy to just step back and say, well, you asked, I told you, or I tried to give you what I like, but I see that. And know when to step back and just say, I'm not going to create any kind of conflict here when it comes to all that, because then how's the space going to turn out, really, when it comes down to it? I want them to go up there and work with zest and zeal on this, right? Yes? Oh, okay. There is a difference, just like with the principles of creation. No, on how much you need to interfere in something that might just need a little time to recuperate, right? Rather than. Okay. So, we are in the second book of Chronicles, 25. Amaziah reigns in Judah. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. That's a good stretch. 25, 29, that's 54. His mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a loyal heart. Oh. Ah. I think that kind of applies to many of the other kings as well. Even if, right, the loyalty, the filial piety towards God, our heavenly parent, wasn't there. Right? Yes? It's a difficult thing. It's a very, very difficult thing to stay constant when it comes to that. Yes? Now it happened, as soon as the kingdom was established for him, that he executed his servants who had murdered his father the king. Oh, how did they think they were going to survive there anyway? Why does every king start out with murdering people? Hey, God said it was going to be a mess. However, he did not execute their children. Oh, but did as it is written in the law in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, the fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall the children be put to death for their fathers, but a person shall die for his own sin. Good one to remember, everyone, when you call children bastards out there. The war against Edom. I can't stand that word. I just can't. All right. Or use that word in any form, because that's what you're doing. Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah together and set over them captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, according to their fathers' houses throughout all Judah and Benjamin. And he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found them to be 300,000 choice men, able to go to war, of course, who could handle spear and shield. That's important. He also hired 100,000 mighty men of valor from Israel for 100 talents of silver, mercenaries. Okay. But a man of God came to him, saying, O king, do not let the army of Israel go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, not with any of the children of Ephraim. God's people were supposed to be the 12 tribes of Israel. Why would anyone, a man of God, go and say that? But if you go, be gone, be strong in battle. Even so, God shall make you fall before the enemy, for God has power to help and to overthrow. So what? So, okay, I'm just saying, and the way that we're reading this now, basically what this man of God told Amaziah is, starting a civil war amongst his own people. He's choosing one over the others. That's kind of what I'm hearing here. Really? Okay, that's how God works? Oh, interesting. Then Amaziah said to the man of God, but what shall we do about the 100 talents which I have given to the troops of Israel? And the man of God answered, the Lord is able to give you much more than this. Okay. Well, at least he's listening somehow. So Amaziah discharged the troops that had come to him from Ephraim to go back home. Therefore their anger was greatly aroused against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. They didn't have to fight. They got the 100 talents. They got the money. They didn't have to fight. They're going back home, and they're angry? Why? I'd say, oh, okay. Sounds good. We're going to go back home and be with our wives and children and till the ground and grow some food and take care of our animals. And sounds good. Sounds good. No, didn't sound good. That didn't sound good. That didn't sound right to them. They were angry. Wonder what else happened there. Then Amaziah strengthened himself, and leading his people, he went to the valley of Salt and killed 10,000 of the people of Seir. Also the children of Judah took captive 10,000. Also the children of Judah, like they are, took captive 10,000 alive, brought them to the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, so that they all were dashed in pieces. Wow. What a thing to do. All sanctioned by God. Whoa, wonderful. But as for the soldiers of the army which Amaziah had discharged, so that they would not go with him to battle, they raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth Haran, killed 3,000 in them, and took much spoil. What? Huh. Man, what a mess. Now it was so, after Amaziah came from the slaughter of the Edomites, that he brought the gods of the people of Seir, set them up to be his gods, and bowed down before them and burned incense to them. What? Therefore the anger of the Lord was aroused against Amaziah, and he sent him a prophet who said to him, why have you sought the gods of the people, which could not rescue their own people from your hand? So it was, as he talked with him, that the king said to him, have we made you the king's counselor? Oh, there you go. Cease. Why should you be killed? Then the prophet ceased and said, I know that God has determined to destroy you because you have done this and have not heeded my advice. Did you guys just get this? In the beginning, when Samuel went and asked God about, hey, the people see that everybody around them has a king, so they want one. And God said, well, I'm not good enough for the guidance to the people of Israel. Well, then go ahead and give them a king. Which Samuel didn't even hear. Hey, hello, are you hearing what you're asking me here? It's basically give up my position to lead the people, my position to guide my people, right, that I desperately need because everybody else is under the what? rule of Satan, more or less, right, has become a part of all this destruction that wasn't supposed to happen to begin with. And he says it's going to be a mess. And here, in a way, I feel like this is the first time that we're reading where one of the kings says to one of the prophets of God, which again, is he really, I don't know, is he giving that? Says, who are you to guide me, the king? Oh, yeah. If you're looking to earthly things to truly guide you in your life rather than heaven, this is what's going to happen. And it's not going to be God that is part of the destruction. I said that in the way that in today's world and how depression, anxiety, right, all kinds of other things that are afflicting people, right, is pretty mind-boggling to me. Why is that? Yes. Well, of course, physically, scientists out there find all kinds of things. Oh, it's because you got one screw that's going left instead of right or something in your brain, and that's why. And then, well, we got a pill for that. Yes, okay. Well, guess that works too for people. Right? But really, when it comes down to it, are you truly letting our Heavenly Parent guide you? Are you truly listening? Do you know the 10 Commandments, the Lord's Prayer? And, of course, a family pledge now for many. Do you? Do you really pay attention to that? Huh? Or does it just sound good out there, right? Yeah, I have to tell everybody else about it. But really, when it comes to my own life, I got to stay where I want to have the fun. Or just saying, right? Yes, children, even when they have good parents, it takes one good parent to guide the children, really, when it comes down to it. The children rather go and get the guidance where? Yes? Makes more fun to begin with. Right? Then it turns into a mess. Who gets to clean up after that? Oftentimes the good parents. Anyway, Israel defeats Judah. Now Amaziah, king of Judah, asked advice and sent to Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, come, let us face one another in battle. I thought Joash was... Oh, there's another Joash. Oh, yeah. I remember. There were two of them. And Joash, king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, the thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar was in Lebanon, saying, give your daughter to my son as wife. And a wild beast that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. All right, so supposedly, right, Amaziah had also hired all these soldiers from Israel, which I'm assuming were given to him by Joash, right? Yes, to help out. And then he just sent them back home because they can't be trusted. Is this what Joash here is going to try to tell Amaziah with all this? Indeed, you say that you have defeated the Edomites and your heart is lifted up to boast. Stay at home now. Why should you meddle with trouble that you should fall, you and Judah with you? But Amaziah would not heed, for it came from God, that he might give them into the hand of their enemies, because they sought the gods of Edom. What? So he knows, but he's worried, but... Okay, man. These guys need to lay off the weed or something. So Joash, king of Israel, went out, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, faced one another at Beth Shemesh, which belongs to Judah. And Judah was defeated by Israel, and every man fled to his tent. Oh. Another civil war. Okay. My goodness. What is this? Then Joash, the king of Israel, captured Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, at Beth Shemesh, and he brought him to Jerusalem and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate 400 cubits. Wow, very detailed. And he took all the gold and silver, all the articles that were found in the house of God, with Obed-Edom, the treasures of the king's house, and hostages, and returned to Samaria. And the temple was raided again. Death of Amaziah. Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. Oh. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, from first to last, indeed are they not written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel? I guess. After the time that Amaziah turned away from following the Lord, they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. Then they brought him on horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah. Turala. Okay, whatever. Oh my gosh. It's just... There. I'd like to say a whole bunch of stuff right now, but I'm not going to. I'll finish this up with this one. I've been thinking about my son. My son doesn't have any kind of Facebook or messaging or this or that anymore. He got tired of it, and he said, I don't need that in my life. And he has his reasons for that. And I said, okay. I said, I guess I'll just wait for your phone call, or I call you. We don't have long distance here. So if I call him, it's long distance, and I always end up talking to my children for hours. That's just how it is. Always have wonderful conversations with all of my children. I like to let them call me because I'm the one with the time, right? Yes? Or I don't pick up the phone. And I know that they're busy working, this, that, and when I call, it's often, oh, Mom, I want to really talk to you, but I'm busy right now, and so I wait for them to call me, because I'm ready to talk. When I pick up the phone, I'm ready to talk, right? And I know they are ready to talk. So it's been a while since my son called, and I thought, I need to call him, right? Yes? Then I waited, and I thought, I'll wait a little longer. And yesterday he called, yes, and we had a big, long, hours long conversation, and it was great, and I loved it. And of course, when I talk to my children, it always, no matter what they're facing, this or that, I remind them of the guidance of God. Yes, I'm their guidance. God's guiding me, I'm guiding them, and I remind them of what? That's what should have happened within the people of Israel when they were so blessed with the presence of God, the chosen people of God, don't you think? In my family, I don't take over. I guide and remind, especially the adults. My children are all adults, on who their true guidance is. Yes? Anyway, so, last thing, I ended up talking about, hey son, I want to tell you something. I said, hey, I said, I called, one of my dog, Gus, needs a rabies shot. That's all he needs. He just needs a rabies shot. And you can't buy a rabies shot and give it to your dog yourself. It has to be, it's like a prescription. And my dog gets a rabies shot every 3 years. So I called the nearest vet clinic here, okay, which is 20 minutes away. And I said, okay, it's a clinic I've not had very good experiences with, okay, but for a rabies shot, come on now. I said, all I need is a rabies shot. How much is that going to cost me? Oh, that's going to be about $120 to $150, depending on, all the other shots. I said, no. I said, I just need a rabies shot. That's all I need. Well, okay, if you don't have to be, it's probably going to be between $80 and $90, just depending again on the distemper. I said, no, I just need a rabies shot. Okay, that's what's going to be, $80 to $90. $80 to $90 just to get a shot. Okay. I said, okay, thank you. Then I called Noah's Ark in Manchester, another vet clinic. But it's 45 minutes each way to drive. So an hour and a half. Because all I need is, as I have a dog, all I need is a rabies shot. How much is that going to cost me? Do you need a doctor to see him, a vet to see him? Or I said, no, he's fine. I just need a rabies shot. That'll be $10 plus tax, $10.60. Oh! I said, oh, yes, that sounds about right to me. I said, do I have to make an appointment or do I just walk in? And, yeah, come anytime between the hours and blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, great. Sounds wonderful. How come that other one closer by can't do that? Just asking. Yeah, yes. Why does it have to be so expensive? And then here is, this is the best vet. It's just a little farther away than 2 or 3 that we have otherwise here that just don't seem to be able to do for the people what that vet further away can do. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that really something? Okay. So I told my son, this is also where my son's dog, Hank, Hand Grenade is his name, but we call him Hank, got his leg amputated as a puppy, really. He was only a few months old, and he had been hit by cars 2 or 3 times. Just, it was one of those things. This puppy wasn't meant to live, but it ended up living and had to have a leg amputated. And again, that vet did that. Now it's been so many years later. So I told my son, I said, hey, are you planning to come see me anytime soon? Because within the next 3 weeks, I need to get Gus, which also my son brought Gus to me as a puppy. And now he's a monster. So big. I said, would you want to come and take me to that vet, because I don't drive long distances like that, and bring Hank, and we'll go and tell them, show Hank, how he's still doing well, this, that, even better now than ever, and my son was really intrigued. He said, I want to do that, Mom. Yes. So when are you going to do it? I could maybe come tonight, and we could go tomorrow. I said, okay. But then he already had an engagement today, so I said, look, if it's working out that way, then let's try and do that, right? So we're talking about for 30 minutes. Oh, how we could do this, that. Okay, son, look, if it's going to happen, it'll happen. If not, but he was really excited about that and is willing to make a 2-hour plus drive to come here, then drive me again, then drive me back, right? And maybe stay a night. I said, it'd be nice if you could stay a night so I can cook some food for you, this or that. And it was amazing on how it wasn't like, yeah, Mom, I don't think that's going to happen. That's kind of a long drive. And for me to come down, no, he was really saying, oh, Mom, I really want to do that. How can we make this work? I love it. The filial piety that I've seen in my son when it comes to simple thing like this, that is, I love it. I love that give and take with my children and the excitement that they have within that give and take with me as well. Isn't that beautiful? Yes. Oh, you think that just happens? Oh, they're just really good children. Yes, they are. But you know what? Because I let God guide me. Yes? Through all the studies or anything I found to study that I felt that is really going towards God's will. This is God's way. This is God's will. This is God's ideal. It's only happening because of that. And it it is so sad for me to see on how things went in the Old Testament when it came to Israel, God's people. And on how all these kings just forsake God's guidance in every which way. They only would perk up and listen when it seemed to be available as a profit to them. Profit. Gaining something from it. Right? Always it seems like in the form of what? Valuables in war. Territory. Anyway, that's all I have to share this morning. Yes, we still got a few chapters to go. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it through it, right? Yes. One last thing I came across again. You just wonder sometimes on what people, why they're doing what they're doing. Find that one good thing that you have to say, but at least this was a good thing about the whole situation. Because that will keep us all connected through a common denominator. A good thing, a good act, a good word, right? Something within all the chaos, within all the whatever, the one little good thing, to find that. Right? That's what also keeps us all connected. Yeah? A little thing called hope. Yes. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.